Well, look who's made it back to the mainland.
Hi, guys.
All the way
Aloha.
all the way from Hawaii. Aloha. You don't have to brag. Come on. Well, tell us first, how was your vacation?
It was seriously the best trip ever. We had so much fun. I think we didn't take the kids with us. And so watching parents at the resort with like pushing baby strollers and chasing a toddler that ran off down the beach. I was
Yep.
just like, I feel for you, but I am so glad I am not you right
Yeah.
now. That just looked miserable.
Yeah.
Chasing people that take babies to a nice vacation, I never will understand.
Same.
I
don't
would
get
have
it.
never spent money on. They're not going to remember it. I'm not going to enjoy myself. So
No, I'm not one of these people that would also, and if you are, I apologize, but I'm also not someone that would take my child to any of the Disney stuff until I know they're going to remember it.
yes,
Like if
yeah,
I'm paying for almost a house, I need
right,
to know that you'll know about this for the rest of your life.
yeah. So, but we had a lot of fun. We did parasailing one day, and we
Which
went on.
I am still shocked.
Listen,
Just
same,
floored. Floored.
same.
You'd
We
have
went to get on the boat. There was like a group of 4 boys in front of us that were all there on like a graduation from high school trip. So they didn't have any parents with them. One of them was 17. You have to have a parent signature if you're not 18. So, like, listening to this kid on the phone with his mom, like, Mom, you got to sign this. And they clearly don't know how to use technology on their phone to sign a form and send it back was priceless.
yeah. Yeah.
So they like bumped us up ahead of them. So we get on the boat with this family that speaks no English whatsoever. We were the token white people, so they kept taking pictures with us.
That's awkward.
I'm like, okay. But so we get on there, and as soon as like we're sitting down, I just kept telling Doug, like, what am I doing here? It's not okay. So we get on.
That was insane when I got the pictures. I was like, what is
Oh my God.
happening right now?
Yeah. Then we get in there, and all I kept doing was staring at the rope that connects you to the boat. And I'm like, there's no way this thing holds up. We're big people. It's not holding up. So like we go, and you just see this thing take off, and then he's like, hold the straps so that when it jerks you back, your head doesn't fly back. So I'm like holding onto the straps, and Doug holds onto him at first, and then as soon as we get up there, he just lets him go. And I look over, and I was like, hold on. Freaking out about it. We got not even a couple of feet above water, and I was like, this is good. We're good. And Doug was like, oh, I signed up for the extreme parasail. And I was like, extreme parasail? And he was like, yeah, it's the one that goes 1,000 feet up. And I was like, we've been married for 15 years. And you thought extreme sounds good. Oh my gosh. So beforehand, I was like, is this a dry landing or a wet landing? Like, do you drop us into the water and then we'll swim up to the boat, or do we land on the boat? Because I didn't know how that would work. And he was like, no, it's a dry landing. And I was like, okay. Well, after you're up in the air for a while, which I kept like waving to them, thinking they would be like, yeah, she's ready to come down. It did not work.
Okay.
So we come down, and they drop us down into the water, like up to probably like where your shorts go. And I was like, this is not a dry landing. This is not a dry landing. And the guys on the boat are just laughing and having the time of their lives. And I was like, what is happening? So then they pull us back up, and it's a dry landing on the boat. But I was just like, it was a fun experience. I'm glad I did it. I will never do it again.
So this is what happened. So I look down at my phone, and I see that I have this message from you to Laura and I look down, and I see that that you're parasailing. And I was like, oh, is this a photo op? Like, she was like, y'all take my picture. And then I was like, oh no, she's in the air. This is happening. Okay. Yep. Okay. I was shocked.
The whole time I was up there, I was watching that knot on the rope. It's like, if this thing, I don't know what I was going to do if it snapped, drop. But
like the literal first thought I had after I was like coming to grips with the idea that you really were in the air, the first thought I had was like, oh, thank God she filled out that document. Like,
that's right.
That book's going to come in handy if that rope breaks, is all I'm saying.
Yeah. I had even done a will right before we left. And I took it to one of my friends that's a lawyer, and I had him sign it, and then I had like a notary sign it. I was like, listen, I don't know what's going to happen here.
You didn't
we
even
did
know it
that.
was the extreme parasailing when you made
No.
the wheel either. So,
And then we did a submarine tour one day, which I was very adamant before we went. I was like, I'm absolutely. Did we not learn anything from the Titanic people? Like,
yeah,
seriously?
Like,
So, but Doug kept pushing. He was like, I think it would be a lot of fun. We should try it. And I was like, I just think that our definitions of fun are too far apart.
Yeah, like I don't know how this relationship has made it this long, but we're done.
So then every day he would like mention it in passing. And so finally I was like, okay, fine, let's go. So we did, and I was like 100 feet, it drops, and I was like, now just like the rope hold on to the submarine to the tugboat. So like if anything happens, they can find us real fast. Like, how does this work? How do we know how much oxygen we have here? Yeah. So I don't know if I enjoyed that as much. It was cool to see some of the things underwater, but
no, I'm good.
No.
Nope.
Yeah.
I will do the parasailing. I will not, there under any circumstances, go in a submarine. Like even the ones where they're like docked and you just like go in it for a tour and it's like above water.
Yeah.
Nope. I'm not doing it.
At one point we were on the submarine and the tour guide that was talking and he points everything out and he was like, well, we actually have a little bit of extra time and it's a real clear day. So we're actually going to see if we can drop a little bit lower. And I was like, there's really no need for that. No, literally no one has asked for that. We're good.
Here's good. Here's good.
We're done. We can go up. It's fine.
No, that is just not the life for me.
Yeah, no. But and we went like some excursions where you go see, like we went and saw Kualoa Ranch, which is where Lost was recorded, and Jurassic Park. That was gorgeous. That area was so pretty. So it was fun to kind of go out and just see different parts of the island that you don't see. That's not like a tourist area. So we enjoyed that. But on the last night we were talking, and I was like, well, what was your favorite part? And for my birthday while we were there, we literally spent like 6 hours just laying on the beach. No kids. Like I'm not having to build sandcastles in. So-and-so pushed me under the water or took my toy or whatever. And we were like, that was actually my favorite part, was just getting to relax on the beach.
Yeah, that is the life for me. The submarine is not me, but I could use that.
Yeah, that was super fun.
Well, I'm glad that y'all got to go. You had a great time, but I am glad that you've returned.
Same.
So episode 26 of Why Space came out yesterday. Aaron joined me. Talked about a lot of things. There were some shocking discoveries. Again, 10 years of marriage, and I was done times. I was like, what? So it's a good listen, good hang. But we have so much content to talk about today that we're recording earlier in the week than we normally do, because I was like, we can't wait for the news to transpire between now and Friday because we don't have enough time for that. Like, if anything else happens, that's a whole nother episode. So we're going to kick it off though with our audience questions, because we wanted to make doubly sure we get to them, because we've got some good ones today and because y'all have been so generous. And I also got a message to explain where you can drop questions. So obviously some people have figured that out. For those of you who haven't, you can just DM us. You can DM us on yspace.com, like all written out on Instagram, or at our personal ones if you know us. Or like if you want to go on like the YouTube comments and put them there, just don't put something stupid or mean and then we'll ban you. Don't be an idiot. So, but yeah, any way that you know how to get a hold of us or can find the show, feel free.
Yep.
Obviously all of these still, again, everything has been from TikTok. So if you're following, it's all under my TikTok. So Mandy Asbury on TikTok. We'll eventually figure out how to have it as a show, but guys, take it easy on us, okay?
Bear with us.
But we got some good ones today. So we are going to talk about all things Taylor and Travis and London, the Eras Tour, and just the overabundance of content that we have there. But our first question is kind of on that topic.
Yeah.
I'm assuming this is Jenna, not Gina, right?
I think so, Jenna.
If you are Gina, my apologies. Outside of Travis, who is your favorite person Taylor has dated and why? This is a great question, and I will be honest that I had to spend some time.
Did you?
I did. I had to spend some time.
I had to Google like who all she's dated because I know I for sure had forgotten some of the ones she dated in her younger
Well,
years.
and I will say, like, obviously there's some things that are speculative. So
Right.
I went with like obvious, like we all know, confirmed.
Yes.
And if you hear my dog, he's having
a moment. It's fine.
There's a lot going on. But
yeah.
Go ahead. You go first. Who is
your Taylor Lautner, just because I feel like he's the least problematic of them. And he seems more normal-ish. There were some other people that she dated that just in general, I'm not huge fans of anyway. I just don't watch their stuff. Nothing against them personally, but so he was the one that I was like, you know what? I've watched some of his things, and he also seems very not problematic out of all of the ones that she's dated. So that's kind of the one I went with. But I'm interested to hear who you're gonna pick.
So it's kind of a game time. So I too was like, I think I'm gonna go safe, and I'm gonna go Taylor Lautner, however you say it. I think I'm gonna go him just because he's been, I think it was definitely the least dramatic. I think if there were any hearts broken, it was not hers. So we'll say that. Yeah. And also just like their friendship and relationship now, and just all of that. And I picked him also based on the interviews he's done since, where he has said things about like how he wishes he could go back to that night at the VMAs, and like, I don't know what he was going to do to Kanye, but he wishes he had stepped up and stopped that situation because he happened to be on the stage presenting her when that happened. So I had that. But I do have like an asterisk one. Okay, they were toxic for each other, and we know this. But I did kind of have a little spot for Harry Styles because we got so much great music in 1989.
Yeah.
And I'm just going to have to assume it's about Harry Styles. I don't know if we honestly anymore. I don't know that we know, but I'm going to assume that it is. And so I just appreciate so much of, I do think that relationship helped catapult her into that pop world.
I would agree with that. Yeah.
Not because of who he is, but because of like it put her mind in that space.
Right. Yeah. No, I think that's a good pick too, though. You didn't have to like them together, but I think him as an artist, he's really good on his own.
Well,
and stuff he's put out that I enjoy.
Yeah, El Predicto, Judd, if he were here, he loves some Harry Styles. So
we trust his opinion.
But yeah, and I'll just say though that none of them ever matter anymore because Endgame is here. So
that's right.
Okay, another Taylor question. This is from Sophia. She says, okay, so Taylor's finally coming on Y-Space. She said the question that way, and I read it and I was like, sorry, what? The way it is, Taylor is coming on Y-Space, and I was like, Taylor who? But it's a great question. What 5 questions are you asking her?
Okay. I loved this question.
It took me way more than I want to admit, honestly, out loud.
Well, yeah, because I'm like, you have to narrow it down to 5, and I want them to be good questions, not like, so how did Travis propose?
Right. When was the moment you fell in love? Because he's now told us on Bussin' with the Boys when he fell in love. So what's your answer?
Right.
Okay.
So, no, but I loved it. So I was trying to think of questions that would like be really good and maybe spur conversation. So my first one, what's the best Easter egg that you've heard someone come up with that you didn't actually plan? Because there's so many theories.
Okay. Yeah.
I just don't think that they're all accurate, but the majority of them make sense. So,
well, that's the problem. They do. And then
that's what throws us off.
That's when we're pulling out our calculators, counting 112 days from every other day.
Right?
So
many numbers. The other one, because Taylor has such an incredible team around her and a lot of people have been with her so long, one of the questions I had was, what characteristics or traits do you look for in people when you're hiring them? Because a lot of times you're looking at things that aren't just interview questions. So I want to know what she specifically looks for, because whatever she's doing is right.
I thought you were going to say because whatever she says is what you're going to conform to.
That too.
Okay. Got it. Okay.
Number 3, if you can go or do anything you want without anybody knowing who you are, so there's no paparazzi, there's no stalkers, you just get to go be a human. What is something that you would love to get to do? honestly, I think a lot of times celebrities are like, I just want to go grocery shopping. Like something so simplistic that we take, for granted. I would love to know, like, what's something you would just want to go do just to be a normal human for a day?
Yeah.
Question number 4 is, of all the accolades and accomplishments that you've had in your career and life, what are you most proud of professionally and proud of personally?
These are good. Taylor, you're going to love it when you're on here. This is amazing.
Right? And then question 5 was, can I work for you?
Oh, God. Right when I took a drink. Okay. Okay. I mean,
leave off with the most
yeah.
question.
That is valid.
So, yeah.
My Twitter just went off with something I did not want to know. It's not about Taylor, but I'll bring it up in a minute.
Okay.
Okay, so those are really good. So I had so many struggles with this question because, first of all, I need far more than 5 questions.
Right.
So that was hurtful and problematic in general. I also just realized that I left the stove on, but surely that's fine, right? Okay. Anyway,
as long as it doesn't catch fire,
fine. I go up in flames. But then also it was like, I wanted to keep in mind like the theme of the show, right? Like I don't want to be intrusive into your personal life, even though like we're clearly invested in, obviously based on things in London, you want us invested.
Right.
And we're here. And then obviously, so I had so many questions in my mind about the Easter eggs, but then I was like, I don't want to get too speculative. It's just so many rules. So this is what I came up with. So, and these are in no particular order.
Yeah.
I wanted to know, of all the music that she's written, I guess I would say all the music that's been released, because I'm sure there's millions that we know nothing about, but everything that's been released, what is the one song, if you could erase the rest of your catalog, this is the one song you would want to like stand for time?
Oh, wow.
Yeah. And I'm dying now. The problem too now is like, I need answers. I need to know. So
do you think you can narrow it down to one song?
Well, that's what I want to know. I want to know if she can. Because the way we struggle when we're like, what's your favorite song? I mean,
true.
And then like she made comments in London this past week when she did the mashup of Hits Different and Death by a Thousand Cuts. She said, these are my 2 favorite bridges. And so I had to put them together. Yeah. And so I was like, oh, I would have never guessed. Yeah. I mean, they're great bridges, but like she's the queen of bridges. So if all the catalog is gone, what is the one song you want to stand? Okay. This next question is, of all the situations that have happened, good, bad, indifferent, all the situations that have happened surrounding her career, what is the one situation she wishes she could go back into and change?
Oh.
So like, obviously there's a lot of things, like, is it the Kanye thing? Do you wish you could change that? But then when we have Reputation,
right.
I don't, so I'm curious about that. But that was another one that I was like, are we getting too close to speculative? I don't know. So there's
That's good.
I like that. I had a similar one on the Easter eggs. I wanted to know, of all the Easter eggs, because obviously I want to say like, what are all the Easter eggs we haven't figured out, or whatever. But of all the Easter eggs that you've created that are known, what is the one you're the most proud of, like that you were able to hide or create or whatever? What's the one you're the most proud of?
That's a good question.
Which I know that one's tough too, because then it's like, what if it's one that we don't know about?
Yeah.
So
come to fruition.
I mean, if she wanted to go ahead and drop the news here, that works too. But
we're fine with it.
And then the next one I had was, it's been said before, like if she wasn't a musician, she would have been like an English teacher. I think she said she would go into like marketing and advertising, but also people are like, oh, you'd be an English teacher. So instead of, if you weren't a musician, this is what you would be, because like it's impossible to erase that.
Right.
But for this, like, let's say it's like the second half of your life. Okay. What do you want that career to look like? Is it still music? Is it writing? Is it like, where do you want to lean in the most?
Yeah.
And then my last one, similar to one that you had, is like, if you weren't Taylor Swift, who is somebody though in the world that you look at their life and you're like, I'd love to walk a day in their shoes?
Oh, I like that question.
So I don't know.
Hey, those were great.
So we'll be sending these to Tree and pass this along to Taylor for get her prep for the episode because
Right.
Sophia says she's coming. I didn't even know, so I'm great with it.
Just say Sophia the liar. She's telling the truth.
I would never say such a thing. All right, switching gears from James, and it is a man James, not a girl James. Of all the teams who have never won a Super Bowl, who do you foresee winning one first? And I went and grabbed those teams. I think I got them all right.
I appreciated that.
Cardinals, Falcons, Bills, Panthers, Bengals, Browns, Lions, Texans, Jaguars, Chargers, Vikings, Titans. I think that's accurate. I tried to triple check it, but if I got it wrong, so sorry to your fandom.
Listen, I was shocked that there's so many NFL teams that have not won a Super Bowl. I feel like Super Bowls have been around since the dawn of time. Like everybody's had a chance, right?
I mean, they do all get a chance, yes.
But yeah, I was surprised when I was looking at that list and I was like, wow, that's a lot of teams.
Yeah.
From those, though, I think I picked the Lions or the Texans because I feel like they have a roster that would actually make it that could actually make it a reality.
Yeah.
Others, I don't know if I don't think they're strong enough offense and defense together to be able to pull off a Super Bowl win.
Yeah, this was kind of a complicated question for me because there's a couple that like, I'm just going to be honest, like didn't even cross my mind. But then there's others that I think like in theory, you should be making it there. You know, it's kind of like the whole debate of like Josh Allen, you've never delivered. I'm surprised. Joe Burrow, like you get hurt all the time kind of situations. Yeah. But then I was like, then of course I went too far down a dirt road in my brain of like, okay, are we saying like the next to win a Super Bowl of this group? Because then I'm thinking about their current rosters. Or am I thinking about like the team ownership and the investment in the way that the owners and coaches, like, because like the Cowboys, for instance, not on this list, but they also are nowhere around coming into another Super Bowl because they've lost their mind. So I was really struggling with that.
Really thinking into this one.
Yeah, we've met, right? That I'm going to overthink everything. Okay, checking that. Yeah. Like the four that I was struggling with were the Lions, Texans, Bills, and the Bengals. And I landed on the Texans.
Okay.
Because I was thinking about the McNairs and the ownership. Also, I love their new coach.
Yeah.
I really have a lot more confidence in CJ Stroud. Jared Goff's a great quarterback. Obviously, he's making a buku amount of money that I don't think he's worth, but still, he's getting older. And so, because I don't think any of these that we just named, I don't think it's this next season.
Right.
But if I was to say the one that I think is the closest to next season, it's between the Lions and the Texans.
Yeah.
But I'm going to go just based on like quarterback ownership and the like. I'm going Texans.
I like that. I mean, strong.
But great question. And then this one, listen, Olivia, bless your heart. What are your pop culture bucket list items? And I'm interested to see where you went with this because, again, in my overthinking brain, I was like, okay, what do we mean exactly? So I'm just interested to see where you went.
Okay, so I also was like, I wonder if these count as pop culture items. I don't know. So I just picked the things that I thought would be a really cool thing to experience. So I did. I would love to attend a movie premiere. I don't want to stand behind a barricade. I want to be on the red carpet.
Oh, like dressed to the nines, we're in.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. If I'm going, we're going.
Clearly. Got it. Check. Okay.
The other one, I would love for us to be invited to Radio Row during the Super Bowl. And they've got all those podcasts and the radio shows.
Yeah.
I mean, you don't even have to give us our own spot. We'll just sit in the background of like the Pat McAfee show or something. You just let us know. Or if Calm Down, if that podcast goes out there, we'll sit with them.
I do need a
Listen.
swag bag though. Even if we're not a main
Yes.
one, I need the swag bag. Okay,
Right.
just making
Yes,
sure.
that is accurate. Thank you. And then
Okay.
the other one would be to attend an SEC media day and or the NFL combine.
Okay.
Yeah. Again, on the field asking questions.
Right. Yeah, we're not just a
Mix.
trying to
Yeah.
take it.
Don't put me in the bleachers. No, thank you.
Have made for so much more.
Right. As a commoner, I could probably get myself there
Yeah.
on my own.
I mean, I could attend. That's not the problem.
Right.
Okay.
So that's what I picked. I don't really know if that stuck with the theme of pop culture, but that's the route I went.
I like those. Those are good though. So you know the whole theory, if you if you shoot for the moon, you'll at least land among the stars.
There you go.
Is that how it goes? Okay,
Yeah.
thank you, because along with pronouncing things, I typically don't get sayings right either. I would like to, and I don't know if this is a personal bucket list item, but it involves a lot of pop culture, so I'm just gonna go with it.
Okay.
I would like to sit in and participate, if needed, on a writing session with Taylor and Jack Antonoff in Electric Lady Studios.
Okay.
Now,
I'll put that.
I don't know. I mean, that is on my personal bucket list, but I feel like that's a lot of pop culture too. So,
So the question is, are you going to sit there and assist with helping to write, or are you just going to have a dictionary in your lap looking up things they say?
listen, I can sharpen pencils. I can pour some wine. I can do whatever I need. Now, yeah, on my personal bucket list, I would love to actually write a song with Taylor.
Yeah.
And I saw an interview with Gracie Abrams this week with Zane Lowe when she said, as a small child, that was her dream, that she jokingly used to say she wanted to look who put a song out with Taylor Swift. I'm just saying it could happen.
Listen.
But I need it in that specific. I want it in Electric Lady Studios.
Okay.
Who's a pop culture icon.
That's right.
With Jack Antonoff.
Okay. I don't see how this is too far-fetched. I like it.
I appreciate that.
Yeah.
I appreciate that you said that comment. Okay. I want to attend the Met Gala. I do not, again, same as you, I do not want to be in the barricades. I don't want to be crowded with anyone. I don't necessarily want to walk the stairs with everyone because I don't need anyone watching that happen. But I would like to be at the top, already stationary, talking to the people, interviewing people that come in.
Okay. Are you going to also have on like a big gown?
Oh, well, yeah.
Okay. Is it going to be functional or is it going to fit the theme really well?
Well, it's going to depend on the theme. Now, I'm not showing up with tree branches coming out of me like Lana. That's not happening. But I do want to be on brand because we do get so annoyed when they're not.
Yes. I think you can be on brand and still be functional, where like you could walk and use the restroom if need be.
Oh, yeah. Now, I definitely am going to have to be able to use the restroom.
Right.
But I'm also not doing the stairs, not for that issue, but that's not safe for me.
I'll change into sweats when I've got to walk down to leave.
Yeah. Or if somebody needs to carry me, that's fine too. But I want to do that. And then again, I don't know if this is a personal bucket list or a pop culture thing, but I want to attend the 4th of July party in Rhode Island at Taylor's place. And to me, that is pop culture because I need it to be the old school. Like, it doesn't have to be all the Victoria's Secret models because I don't want to feel bad about myself, but I do need like the Gigi's and the Blakes and, I need that. I want that. And then my football one, I did have a football one as well. That I too wanted us to have a booth at the Super Bowl.
Okay.
But
if anybody out there that's listening has a connection,
we're here.
Any of the socials.
I can do whatever you need me to. So those were mine. I obviously would love to attend any music awards show where I'm like, I don't want to be in the bleachers. Like, I want to be sitting like, oh, hello.
At one of their tables.
Yeah. I would love to do any of those kind of things, specifically the Grammys and the Oscars, if I got to pick. Maybe the VMAs because that seems fun. But yeah.
Oh, I like those. Okay. Well.
All right.
If one of those happen, I'll be ecstatic.
I mean, if one alone happens, I'll die on the scene probably. I'll have to get my book together. Good Lord. Okay, so those are the audience questions. We are going to skip over to entertainment because obviously a few things have happened lately.
Big Taylor Swift week with concerts.
Yeah, so if you are not listening to this show for Taylor Swift content, I do appreciate you coming, though. I don't know why you're here. But I heard it was either Aaron Andrews or Chris on their show say, like, if you don't like Taylor or Travis, I don't know why you listen to us. And I was like, that feels accurate.
I don't know how you function in this lifetime if you don't like them.
What a sad life.
What is there to live for?
What a sad life. Our Taylor talk this week, though, is bountiful. So since you've been gone, well, Kelly Clarkson called there. We had the Liverpool shows. Let's start there with the beginning.
Yeah.
So the last time you and I recorded, we were like moments from the 100th show. You know, of course, there were umpteen thousand rumors about what was going to happen. Essentially nothing. Nothing happened. Other than she did confirm that the tour is ending in December of this year, which did kind of squash a lot of rumors about like this going on until we're 95 years old.
Right.
There were, and there have been repeatedly in all the shows since then, what I could say are very purposeful glitches to either her website or even the screens in the arena during the shows. So the whole glitch theme is, I mean,
okay, but
we're clearly
the
hinted.
website has glitched a couple of times and nothing happens.
I think it's going to keep doing it. I think that they're going to just, well, my guess is the Reputation is going to be announced. I've always said, remember, that I thought it was going to happen in Ireland because if you flip TTPD upside down, it's CAIL, which means something I can't remember now, Reputation, whatever. So I think it's going to come this weekend that she's going to announce it. But that's what my longstanding theory has been. I will say now, though,
still, but it will never.
Yeah. Well, and I will say now, I actually have flipped my whole script, and I actually think debut is going to come out first. It's a whole thing in my brain now. I know.
Yeah.
Just wait for it. So the 100th show, that was the show of nothingness. But in Liverpool, just to cover the surprise song, she did do a mashup of I Can See You, Mine, and Mine, which made sense for her to do I Can See You. That's where she made the music video.
Yeah.
Again, she did a mashup of Cornelia Street and Maroon. Maroon, I just don't understand why it's not on the list anymore. Like,
yeah,
it's every other show. And I mean, I love it, but I'm like, we all know that nothing happens accidental. So what is up with that? You're on your own, kid. And now Clean, which, you know, I'm grateful for.
Right.
Happening I feel like every city. So
I wonder if those are personal favorites for her or if there is a specific purpose.
There's something to it.
Yeah.
I don't know. There's something to it. I just don't know.
Yeah.
Night 2, she did a mashup of This Is What You Came For and Gold Rush. This was comical for a lot of reasons because This Is What You Came For is the song that she wrote for Rihanna and Calvin Harris. And then while she was with Calvin, and then they tried not to give her credit. And then, well, and of course, Calvin's from there. So, you know, that was funny. And then she did a mashup of The Great War and You're Losing Me, which was, that was off. Like, dang. It was amazing.
Those are two, like, get you heart songs.
I mean, yeah. And then night 3 in Liverpool, she did Carolina, which was a little bit surprising to me. That was a song that she did for Where the Crawdads Go, Grow, whatever, that movie. With Nobody No Crime, which she called the murder mashup. And then she did the manuscript in red. And I was super surprised she did the manuscript because, you know, I'm convinced the last song, that surprise song she's going to do on the last night in December is the manuscript because I think that leads to the next part of her career. But
I would agree.
So I don't know. So that was Liverpool. Cardiff was an interesting time period. We had Scooter Braun's birthday. For those that celebrate, which is like no one. Yeah. He also announced his retirement from the music industry, which is code for nobody wants to work with you anymore. So you're retiring from that.
Which again shocks me because, like, why make an announcement when you already weren't doing anything, my guy? Like, you just own a company at this point.
What an odd duck. But
yeah,
my girl came through and did I Forgot That You Existed mashed up with This Is Why We Can't Have Nice Things. It was beautiful, and it was
Oh, we
so
lived a Petty Taylor moment.
Hetty Taylor for
She
Queen.
never misses.
Like, it's amazing. This also was on the heels of an interview with Joe Allen that came out that I mean, I would say he was respectful, but he was very, I don't know. There was a lot to what he said and didn't say and the way he said things. And so she also played I Hate It Here in the Lakes. Which I thought was kind of funny at first because I was like, man, I'd hate to be from Cardiff or wherever, and she plays I Hate It Here. But I think the way she mashed it up with the lakes post the Joe interview was very telling, and masterful as always.
Yeah.
So those were those shows. Huh?
Okay, so for Joe, who's an actor, I guess, and then they dated for 6 years.
Right, yes. I'm talking to your sister right now, but yes, these are true facts.
Maybe heard his name like twice in news outlets because it was correlated with hers.
Mm-hmm.
This man is constantly putting himself in the news like the last 6 months. But it's like he's doing it. Before you're like, please don't put me in the media.
Yeah,
Now
I want to be everywhere.
Promoting whatever you're in that's new and coming out, but like it's just a very odd turn of events.
Yeah, just yeah. I think in light of TTPD and it being so heavily Maddie coded,
True.
I don't know if it brought out a anger in him. This is how he's dealing with it. I
He
don't
was
really.
mad he didn't get an album.
I mean, I think he thought he was finally going to get his moment, and it
Turns
didn't.
out.
Yeah. I don't know, but good on you, Joe. So I don't know. I just don't
Better
get
luck
it.
next time. I don't know.
I mean, I don't know. I couldn't tell either. In written interviews, it's always hard to tell. Like, there's no emotion to what you're saying, so I couldn't tell in a lot of his interview, was he shading her or the public? And I think there was a little of both. And I think that she played I Hate It Here in the Lakes because it was a little bit of both. But we're Joe over, and now we have been to London.
Oh my gosh, London. Can you imagine when this tour started, all of the things that we've seen?
No.
I never thought it could get better. And it has.
I just think back to like this time last year when she put out the announcement of what the European dates were going to be. You know, she was going through, obviously we know now she was going through all this Maddie stuff. She's post 6 years with Joe. She's like 10 days from meeting Travis, or no, she didn't even meet him. 10 days from Travis meeting her or seeing her show for the first time.
Yeah.
And then now we look at London and what it became. Like, I can't even fathom how that is even reality.
It just goes to show like how drastic things can be in 1 year. Just the difference.
Yeah. So a surprise song. Let's just start. We'll just go day by day because there's a lot every day. So London night 1, Prince William, my man. I know you're about to be the king. That dancing, sir, with all due respect, needs a little work.
He was enjoying himself.
Fully committed to shake it off. I have never seen anything like it, and it was amazing. It was so distracting though that I didn't even realize that Zara, his cousin, was the person next to him.
Yeah.
I was just like, what is happening with him? I didn't even see all these people. But we had Prince William, George, Charlotte, Zara, Mike Tyndall, who I freaking love, her husband.
I love him so much.
And one of their daughters, and like pretty much half of Hollywood. I didn't even go through and write down all of the Hollywood stars that was there, but over the weekend, I mean, we had Paul McCartney, we had Tom Cruise, we had Liam Hemsworth. I mean, it just, the list goes on and on. It was incredible. Yeah. So then night 1 on the surprise song, she did Hits Different and Death by a Thousand Cuts. And she said that those were her 2 favorite bridges. Again, great bridges. It just,
okay.
And then she did the Black Dog, Come Back, Be Here, and Maroon, because why would we not have Maroon? Of course.
Right.
Um,
It's a given.
but that version of the Black Dog was her vocals and every, dear God, it was amazing.
Well, and I think the shocking thing, because she does her entire show live every single night that she's out there.
Yeah, Dave Grohl. Just by the way, the whole show's live, you loser.
Have a seat, sir. But just the fact the acoustic set is not at the beginning of the show.
No.
So Girlfriend has sung quite a few songs before she sits down, and to just only have a piano backing you or a guitar backing you is already like nerve wracking, and your voice is center stage. But like, you've already gone through so many songs.
Yeah.
The typical person would be exhausted. Their vocal cords would be a little strained at this point. She flawless every single time. It's so impressive.
It is crazy. Like, it is literally crazy. I don't know what just happened. The dog just tore something off the counter.
It's totally normal. It's totally fine.
So that was night one. Oh my God. That wasn't all that happened night one. Jason and Princess Kiana were there.
Both of them.
Oh my God. And it was
friendship bracelets and all.
I mean, it was incredible. And all the videos that have come out, some of my favorites, Taylor and Travis are literally just the two of them in an arena full of 90,000 people singing Lover to each other. And it is so sweet to see Kylie, like the big sister-esque role right beside him, just watching them. And you can see, it's like she's watching tennis.
Yeah.
Back and forth and just smiling. Oh, yeah.
It's just to experience that. I'm sure Travis has talked to her and they, talked about these things, but when she gets to be there and kind of experience that in person, has to be so cool for her, just because of how close their family seems to be.
Well, and I assumed that Kylie, because I know they've made comments about Wyatt's favorite songs and stuff, so I assumed but like, my girl knew the songs. Like,
she was
singing all the songs. Singing, yeah. Jason knew the songs. Like, night one, he was a little more reserved. Night two, my guy went off. He was everywhere, like dancing like a fool, and I loved every minute of it.
Yeah, it was just so fun to fight, because we've all, since last summer, we've been waiting for Jason and Kylie to be at a show. So to finally get that, and everybody, like, you just want to see them get to enjoy themselves, and to see that they actually got to do that was really fun. But
yeah, it was amazing.
All the stars that were in that VIP tent with them. I mean, you got Tom Cruise in the tent with them. Like, I think I had texted you too. I was like, can you imagine another concert or another type of event that would have all of, like, you've got royalty in there, you've got, Carissa and Aaron from ESPN in there. Like, there's not another event that would bring that group together.
I was so excited for them, and I can't wait to listen. I know we've seen some clips already of their show. I can't wait to listen to it today. I love them together in general and their friendship and their show. And I know that they joke that, like, they were sort of semi behind them getting together. I do think, like, they have a little part in it, but I just, like, the whole thing was so cute that they got to be there and in the tent with him and all of his friends. Again, Trav doesn't travel lightly. All of Cleveland Heights was there. And I love that. So surprise songs, London Night 2. We had a little mashup of Thank You, Amy, and Mean.
Sure did.
We will not speculate, but I loved every minute of it. And my favorite part was when she did Mean and she changed it to I'll be singing this song in Wembley. Because God, you have to, I'm sure it seems so foreign to her now, but that little girl back then, when that man wrote that stuff about her and that she wrote Mean about him, the journalist, and now she's playing 90,000 people 3 nights. Well, and then 5 more nights coming in Wembley Stadium.
With ease.
Like, it's got to be so full circle. I was so, and you know how I feel, I was so happy that Andrea Swift was there.
Yes.
And the videos of her walking in before the show and everyone flipping out the way they always do. And it made her cry. And I was just like, she has to look at their lives and just be like, all these people are here for my daughter.
Yeah.
After everything we've been through.
Yeah. As a parent, that I could imagine that never gets old. It doesn't matter how many stadiums she performs in, how many concerts she does. Walking in every single time and realizing all of these people traveled, all of these people paid, they know this stuff. Like that has to be such an overwhelming feeling of being like, my daughter did exactly what she dreamed of.
Yeah.
And I think that emotion would hit you every single night.
Well, and because I wanted to have this to do with it, I also wondered, with Trav being there, his family being there, all of his friends, a lot of her aunts were there.
Her brother was there.
Her brother, like all of that culmination, all being there, 90,000 people in Wembley, setting all those records. I also just wondered if that for her is not a moment too for Andrea that, I mean, God willing and seemingly like this is what you pray for as a parent, know? And so I just loved every minute. Yeah. And then because why stop there that night? She brought Haley Williams out and they did Castles Crumbling. A lot of people, and I too, have been a little bit surprised that didn't get added to the set list the way that Nothing New got added when Phoebe Bridgers was an opener, and then Nobody No Crime when Haim was an opener. I have been a little bit surprised, but I don't know. That song has such a different vibe. Mm-hmm. And like Nobody No Crime was so fun.
Right.
Like Nothing New was a little bit weird too, but I have been a little bit surprised that it hasn't been because Haley Williams, listen,
so you good.
About a vocalist, that woman can sing the house down.
Yeah, I'm not a Paramore fan. I just don't listen to their music. I had no idea her vocals standalone were so good.
I haven't, I used to listen to Paramore back in the day, and I haven't really recently. It's probably ignorant on my part. I don't even know if they put out new music lately. I don't know.
Yeah.
But man alive, and the way that those two can harmonize together, Lord, they should take that on the road. Like, oh wait, they did. Haley was incredible. Haley, Haley really leans into that kind of punk emo vibe that's not really my vibe. But I loved a couple things. She came out in that purple dress. It was very reminiscent of the last time they performed together back on the Speak Now tour. It was a Stella McCartney dress. That's in the Taylor world too. Stella was there with Cara Delevingne.
Yeah.
Your favorite. I still can't get around, but okay. And then she wrote in Sharpie down her arm, which is what Taylor used to do. Taylor used to have her mom write her lyrics down her arm on a Sharpie, which was weird, but she did it.
Yeah.
But Haley did remember this moment. And I just, I love every minute of it.
Yeah.
So that was just night 2. Then we go to night 3, which I can't even. So let me just start with the surprise songs because the best part's next. Gracie Abrams, who I love, her album came out, incredible, and the song that she wrote with Taylor is so perfect. And I absolutely love that Gracie has put out the video of Taylor having to put out the fire in the apartment, and like giving us the full story. What we love to hear, give us all the details. Gracie did that, and so. I loved having her come out. That song is amazing, and they sound so great together. And then she did the mashup again of Out of the Woods and Is It Over Now? But this time she added Clean. And I think that's the perfect story because she and Trav are out of the woods. Like, they're out of the house, they're out of the woods, they're everything. The past, it's over, and now she's clean.
I love it.
That was just incredible. And then the most epic of epic moments. Something that I don't even think I could have, like, if you had said, Mandy, tell me the most outlandish thing you would love to see Taylor and Travis do. I couldn't even have dreamed of this.
No, because where would we have thought to put him?
This man pops up out of the ground with 2 of her dancers, with Cam and Jen, during Acapulco Heart, full suit, custom suit, wearing his own Louboutin shoes.
As one does, sir.
and a size 16. Come on now, you know those cost some money. And just jumped right in, and it has come out now where he had literally the night before to rehearse, and he just winged it. Like, what a freaking man! Like,
I mean,
good God Almighty, they could not be more perfect.
No, and it was just so good because not only did he come out on stage during her concert, he completely played the part. He didn't act like, he didn't make it about him. He didn't try and outshine the other dancers. He completely messed with them and did it so perfectly. You would have thought they've done it every single night. It was so good.
It was
and
so
just
good.
so fun to see their interaction. I don't know how she kept a straight face.
Oh my, I don't know how she ever does during that scene, or even she does laugh a lot more when Cam does whenever he's in the we're never getting back together. She does laugh during that part, or when he does his bejeweled dance, but the way that all of them in that scene when she throws the tantrum about getting ready,
and they
don't lose it. But yeah, so Trav picked her up off the ground and carried, and that alone was like, Taylor said herself, it made her swoon. I was swooning with you. Like, and then he like pretended to put makeup on her. But my absolute favorite part is when she's ready to like turn around and like put on the show. The way she smiled at him and blew him a kiss, and his face smiling, just watching her watch that thing. Holy moly.
Like, you could just tell he was so proud. Like, he did it. We did this. And then she was so excited.
Happy. Like,
I love it so much.
And just like, yeah, she did all of last summer with a broken heart. And now she gets to do that with him.
And has already written him songs. Come on.
Listen.
Come on. I think it was just so much more special too, because her family was there to see that. And that's not something she's ever done.
No. So, well, and I saw the video of her dad. He was like in the sound booth, and like right when it hits, he turns around. He goes, "I didn't even know," which is so funny because I feel like he's always in on whatever's happening.
I did wonder, like, who all exactly knew what was going on.
So what I read, the way it sounds, I mean, obviously,
Cam and Jan knew.
I think the way it sounds, it was just them, and then like the people that help with costume and stage. That's the way it sounds. I think that the way Andrea acted when he came back to the tent, the way she hugged him, melted me. But maybe she knew, but I don't think anyone else knew.
You would almost have to keep that pretty close to the chest.
Yeah,
so that it doesn't get out.
And that he like snuck to get backstage behind the green willow cloak just makes me laugh so hard. And did you see the thing where they were like, how do we sneak a 6'5" man backstage? And then it was the video of Paul McCartney out in the audience dancing with people to But Daddy, I Love Him. And I was like, what world are we living in right now? How is this all happening?
Can you imagine that meeting where they're like, we need a distraction. And then somebody's like, well, let's get Paul to dance.
Yeah, out the crowd. Let him experience the new Beatlemania. Yeah, like.
Oh my gosh,
it was so much of it was everything I could have ever dreamed. I couldn't even dream it. It was just so perfect.
I just love that this tour has gone on so long, and where any other artist, I think it could just become mundane. Nothing new gets added. There's like, it's just the same old, same old. I feel like we're constantly getting something new. That it just makes it more enjoyable to see her keep going.
Yeah. So, she made her thank you post to London. There was, I think, a lot of Easter eggs in it. I will say that she said it was his Eras Tour debut. So it makes me think he will be back again in some capacity. But also makes me think, are we getting debut? I don't know, because she also said things like our song.
Right.
In the post. So I don't know.
But we love getting a hard launch on Instagram.
Listen,
the fact that
she posted, we didn't even talk about that. She posted the picture night one of her, Prince William, George, Charlotte, and Travis wearing his Team USA hat all up in Wembley Stadium with the future.
You love to see it. You love to see it.
What a badass. I loved it. Like, so that hard launch was hard launch. And it was like within moments, Killa Trav got real busy on Instagram, liking
They did.
tons of her posts.
Like.
He probably got banned. It was probably like, is this spam? Like,
It's too much.
it was amazing. And then the post that she did for her thank you to London had several pictures of him in that part, brought him up, tagged him.
Yeah.
Man.
Girlfriend was all in.
So now in Killa Trav, we're looking at you, my man. Like, I need you to do something now. Like,
right? Stop just doing sponsored posts on your Instagram.
When I saw one pop up today, I was like, oh, is it here? No, it's that foot-long Subway cookie.
Subway.
Like, nobody wants to cookie. Nobody eats a Subway. Stop it, Travis. Like, the whole thing is great. I'm hoping he's in Ireland this weekend. I don't know. We'll see. We still didn't get any of the Chiefs. The Mahomes are about, but we didn't get any of them. But
I do still think we've got some time for that, though.
We do because, we've got till like the 20-ish range of July. So we've got time.
We'll still hold that hope.
But it was epic. I think that is most of our Taylor news, though. Obviously, Gracie's new album dropped. Wanted to give that a shout out because if you haven't listened to it, it's so good. And then a couple other entertainment news items. Sabrina Carpenter, who is talk about on a fever pitch right now. I mean, she's everywhere, and it's awesome. Yeah, before. And it's funny because a lot of people were comparing her new video, that Please, Please, Please video that's got Barry, whatever, however you say it, her boyfriend. I'm not even going to try. People were saying, oh, that's a hard launch. That's a brave move. And then Taylor brings Travis out on a stage. But Sabrina's interview was really, really good. She talked a lot about Taylor and how, she's obviously like most people has spent her life like looking up to her, and now they're friends, and just her influence. I love that she went after the people going after Jack Antonoff. Mm-hmm. It was just great. I love how she's handling things and this like really heightened fame. I hope she keeps that vibe. I don't want to see it fall off. I don't want to see her get in mix of stuff. I love that she
seems to be on a good trajectory right now.
I love that she said she talked to Taylor about doing the Skims stuff. And so I really like that.
Because that was a huge thing at one point last year. All these people that are doing Skims ads are all people that are somehow intertwined with Taylor. I like that she just was like, we were in communication. She knew what I was doing. Never once did she say she got permission. She made the decision herself. Yep. Never once did she say Taylor allowed me to do this or told me not to do it. Like, they're just girlfriends. I feel like if I was in a business and I was about to do something where I was like, Mandy might have an issue with this, I would at least be communicative and have a conversation of, hey, this is the decision I made and this is why. I just want you to know ahead of time.
Yeah.
Not asking permission, not any of it. It's just a normal girl friendship conversation out of respect. And I think some people kind of misconstrue that as permission.
Yeah. I mean, I love the way she's handled it and the way that she was so like just upfront about it. There's a few other people that have been in Skims ad that I would like them to be as upfront. Lana, looking
because we want to know.
Just saying. But yeah, I thought that was really cool. Billie Eilish, like, are we done with Billie Eilish? Because like her album didn't do anything. I mean,
especially coming off of the steam that she had from Barbie and her song on there. You thought it would do a little bit more, but honestly, I think that she didn't help herself out with just how cocky she came off in interviews. Not even just against like where she was shading what we would assume was Taylor, just the cockiness of how she came off. It was kind of like, you're here for fans.
Yeah, I don't know. And I mean, full disclosure, I haven't listened to Billie's album. I probably won't. I don't like her music. It's just not my thing. I don't like her voice. I don't like the way she's so breathy all the time. It's just not my thing.
Yeah.
But she was in an interview recently and they asked her who her dream collaboration was. And in what I would call typical Billie Eilish, she said nobody.
Which, here's what struck me on that. But again, we have very clearly said we're not huge fans of her music anyway. Nothing against her. It's just that style, not my vibe.
Yeah.
As an artist, typically we are used to seeing them say like, oh, it's great to learn from this person, or this person does this well. Like they still give praise to others in their industry because those are your peers.
Mm-hmm.
So to see somebody sit in an interview who she has not had like the highest of high successes, you're not like the greatest artist of all time. So to see you sit in an interview and almost give the impression of like, why would I collaborate with anybody because I'm better than everybody? It just kind of puts a foul taste in your mouth of like, this might be why nobody wants you to do a 3-hour tour, concert.
Yeah. Is she going on tour with this album? I think she is, right?
I would assume so, but I can't say that for sure. I've seen anything in it.
Speaking of tours and Sabrina, a second ago, I saw this morning that she's playing, I think, the Kia Forum in LA for one of her shows for her short and sweet tour that holds, I think it said like 17,000 people. There were over 100,000 people in the queue waiting for tickets.
How awesome.
I know. I'm happy for the good people.
Yeah.
Man.
This is what happens when you're good.
Yep. And just stay that way. Like, God, I'm going to be so mad if something happens with that. All right, let's switch gears and talk a little sports. A couple of things have happened since you went and gallivanted around the world. Bryson won the U.S. Open.
Look at him.
And we were like I won't say we. I wasn't like Team Bryson before, but I am all in.
All in on him.
Give me the merch. I'm in. Like, love the dude now.
And he's a live guy. So there's a lot of people that are kind of against it. But again, I think when you go out there and you are all about the fans, you are all about praising the people around you and doing your best and just being a normal human. It's so fun to see those guys win. So it was fun. It's fun to see it. Like he went on a whole media tour, and I loved it.
A picture or a video of him. He was in Nashville for the next
walking down Broadway,
carrying the trophy like it was just carrying like I carry my cell phone. But that was a very exciting ending to that tournament. Rory kind of fell apart, honestly.
Yeah.
And there's a lot going on there. Like, I don't know what's happening in his personal life. It sounds like they are not getting divorced, but other golfers have put out statements like Shane Lowry was saying, like, with everything he has going on, like it sounds like there's a lot more going on than we know. And he himself has said he's going to take a little break from golf. He's dropped out of several things. He's not going to come back until they go to the Scottish Open. I don't know. I don't know what's going on with Rory.
So I thought it was interesting after seeing that, after watching the documentary Full Swing for last season, so many of those guys talked about having a sports psychologist that worked specifically with them. Mm-hmm. And I thought, well, that's so interesting because, again, I'm not a golfer as much as I would love to be really good at it. If I can get it off the tee, that's basically
done something. Yeah.
Okay. So to see some of those guys talk about like how much that helped their game and how much of a mental game it is, and then to see him be like, I need to take a step back after we've seen like you file for divorce, people are alleging, affairs, and now you're back with your wife. I can't imagine the mental toll that's taken on you to be able to be in those competitions and be able to focus on it, because you have to imagine, as quiet as a golf tournament is, when you're walking through those crowds, I'm sure somebody is saying something that throws you off for a while.
Yeah.
So I'm glad that he's taking time to step away. I think when you go through all of that, you do need to step away and kind of get things settled. Yeah. And then let's get back out there and be the Rory that we all hope he'll be.
Well, and I think that it's very wise that he is taking this break, because I think of guys in situations like Tiger and everything he went through. I think if he had taken more breaks, maybe some of the theatrics and drama around his situations, his personal decisions, they may have been the same.
Right.
Maybe there would have been less like bad media exposure.
Yeah.
I just think, I think it's a good message too to everyone. Like, you can be on the top of your game. You can be one of the world's most famous and best at whatever you do. And like, you still need a minute. Like, and it's okay to do that.
Yeah.
Let's talk a little football. Something very startling happened while you were gone. Very startling. I can't even just saying it, I feel stupid saying it. So I can't believe people felt smart enough to do this. While you were gone, Trevor Lawrence, the quarterback of the Jacksonville Jaguars, signed his new contract. He is now the highest paid quarterback in the NFL.
Listen.
What are we doing? What are we doing?
Trevor?
I mean, good for you, son. But what?
Here's kind of what my thought process was when I saw that is I think they're considering raising the cap for quarterbacks next year.
Mm-hmm.
Teams are realizing we don't have endless funds. At some point, this money does run dry.
Right.
So I think it's what Melanie was saying on their podcast. Like, we're not playing with monopoly money here. Like, there is an actual accountant that's keeping up with this.
Yeah.
So I think that teams are starting to see, I've got to get my franchise quarterback in right now where I can afford them. I don't know what next year's NFL draft is going to look like. I don't know that we're going to have that many great quarterbacks to pick from. Yeah. And so I think it was smart for the Jaguars to try and be like, okay, let's get you pinned in now so that we can keep you. But I also think it's a very interesting move because are you going to stay healthy? Can you play to the level of getting your team to the playoffs and potentially a Super Bowl down the line? Yeah. I don't know because he hasn't proven that yet. Yeah. But I did see where he was saying, this, because this new contract, like this is no new added pressure on me. This is, my goal is still the same. My job is to get us to a Super Bowl. So I like the mental space that he's in for that. I thought that was a great way to look at the contract extension, but I do think it's an interesting move for Jaguars.
Well, so in the top 5, okay, so top 5 highest paid quarterbacks on their average annual value. These quarterback or these NFL players, they have all these incentives. So we're not talking that. We're talking just the contract value. He's actually tied at first with Joe Burrow at $55 million. And so then in, I guess, what is third place then is Jared Goff at 53. Justin Herbert with the Chargers at 52.5, Lamar Jackson at 52, and Jalen Hurts at 51. Here's the thing that jumps off the page at me when I see that. Not one of those guys has won a ring.
Yeah.
And of those 4 of them, the top 4 are teams that have not won a Super Bowl.
Yeah. How much does Pat get paid? I feel like he should have been in here.
Well, I mean, because you would think, you win a couple rings, you win the MVP, et cetera, et cetera.
Just the sign-on bonus that Trevor got?
Well, because so if you go out and you just like Google, right, Patrick Mahomes contract value, it's going to show that it's adjusted a 10-year deal to $450 million. Now, obviously, you're like, well, that's a lot more money than the 55. It's the annual average value. So the way it all breaks out in the grand scheme of things, it's different amounts of money. So, but still, how Patrick Mahomes is not even at least in the top 5?
Right. I thought it was interesting because I went back and I was like, okay, that's a huge contract for Trevor. What is he being paid now? So I looked for this coming season. He will be on his 5th-year rookie contract.
Mm-hmm.
$1 million is what he gets paid.
Oh.
Then in 2025, he gets paid $25 million. And then 2026 is when he jumps into this new extension piece. Can you imagine going from being paid $1 million a year to then jumping up to 25 and then 55? I just can't even. As his wife, I'd already be on Zillow.
I appreciate you said, can you imagine making that jump? I'm sorry, I'm still back making $1 million the first. No, I can't imagine that part.
Sure.
But sure, yeah, that jump's dramatic too.
These are just pretend numbers. In my head, no one actually makes this money. These are all pretend numbers.
I don't know, it's crazy. Little WNBA news because hashtag everyone should watch women's sports. My girl, Cameron Brink, tore her ACL. And she's
sad.
I'm really bummed about it. I told you right when I saw the play, I saw the way her leg slipped, and I was like, oh, nope.
Yep.
So she's going to miss out on that 3x3, whatever the bless that was, in the Olympics, and obviously the rest of the WNBA season. And she was, ESPN had her as number 1 on their WNBA rookie rankings. They put out this has been a couple days ago now that they put this out, but their top 10, they had it as Cameron Brink, Angel Reese, Kate Martin, Rakea Jackson, Julie Van Loo, Caitlin Clark, Aaliyah Edwards, something, Sevji Uzon, and Leonie the bitch. I don't know. But I will say, I know that we have not shown a lot of love to Angel Reese on here, and as a person and personality, I'm not a fan, but dang, she's putting up some stats.
She is, listen, if she would stay quiet and just focus on her games, she is doing great.
She needs a handler. She reminds me of Des Bryant. You remember back when Des Bryant was like relevant, right? Yep. And he was having incredible seasons in Dallas. And then remember, he got in all that trouble. He slapped his mama. Just all things went south. And like he never played again.
Yep.
What a waste of a career. I feel that way about her. Not that I think she's going to slap her mom. I mean, she could, but like she needs a handler.
Yes.
And she needs a consultant that's like, shut up and stop wearing these weird shoes that you can't walk in. You're going to break your ankle, and we need those. So, but I mean, man, stat-wise, she is killing it. But also, I just want to say, now that Cameron's out, I am all in. You know, I'm an Aces fan anyway because of Kelce Plum. I am all in on Kate Martin. All in.
Her so much.
And the dynamic in the Aces, they love her. Like
that team has such a good dynamic together.
And I think it's Becky Hammon. I love Becky Hammon. Yes. The coach, you know, she was in the NBA for a while with the Spurs.
Yeah, she's down here in San Antonio.
I love her. And so I think again, starts with leadership, starts at the top. But then Aja Wilson, like she has embraced Kate like they're sisters. I mean, and this was a girl who really didn't think she was going to get drafted. Remember, she was sitting in that room to support Caitlin, and then they called her name, and she was like, what?
Yeah.
That was me.
I think what makes it more fun to watch them is seeing people that still enjoy the sport. Yeah. It's not a job. It looks like they still genuinely enjoy getting to play a game that they've played all their lives. And that makes it so much more fun as a fan to get to watch.
Yeah, so I'm super pumped for her. And of course, my Aces, as long as they're winning, I'm super happy. We'll see how that shakes out. Caitlin's still being Caitlin. She's still putting up the numbers. She's still, I think she's still handling the stuff as best she can. I liked what she said. They played the Sky again. I feel like they play the Sky every week lately. They played them again Sunday, and she said that, you know, she really downplayed the rivalry and just said that was something y'all created. Like, we're just playing basketball. So I don't think Angel approaches it that way. Caitlin might, but she said the right thing. So
And while we're talking about it, can we get a new head coach next season?
Oh, it's happening. I'm telling you right now, I think it's that lady that just retired from Iowa. I'm telling you.
I hope so.
Yeah.
The lady that's coaching right now should not even be an assistant coach. What are you doing?
The way she sits in the post-game interviews too is so odd. Like her whole demeanor is weird. It's like she's like a substitute teacher is the vibe I get.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. That's the perfect analogy for that.
Yeah, I don't know. I just
even when she talks to the players, you can tell this look of like, do you know basketball?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Couple little NFL notes that came out. The Madden 25 is coming out. Aaron and I talked about it on episode 26, but the 99 Club.
Listen, I don't know what this is. So I was like,
oh, let me explain this.
Yeah, I need an explanation here.
On Madden, when you are like the best player on there, they give you a score of 99. Like, okay, I don't think anyone ever gets 100. Maybe there's such a thing as 100 Club. I don't know. But like the best players are 99. And so this season they made it Patrick, Christian McCaffrey, Justin Jefferson, Tyreek Hill, and our boy Trav.
There we go.
So I was super happy to see that. I do think that was probably kind of it's a good publicity thing, but hey, we'll take it.
Right? We're not complaining.
So I'm excited for that for him. Another listing of the top 10. So Pete Prisco put out another top 100 NFL players. And his top 10 was a very interesting list to me. Yeah. I'm going to start at 10 and work backwards. He had Nick Bosa at 10, Micah Parsons, Christian McCaffrey all the way at 8, Justin Jefferson, Josh Allen, TJ Watt, Tyreek Hill, Trent Williams, Myles Garrett, and Patrick Mahomes. Here's the thing. Everybody's got an opinion. This was a very odd list in general. I think having Christian McCaffrey all the way down at 8 shows that you're like looking at this from a weird lens.
Right.
And having like offensive linemen and defensive linemen as your 2 and 3, just this isn't what we came for.
No,
this isn't.
Let's pull this up a little.
But you know, everybody's got a new one every week, so it's just always interesting to see. I thought his was garbage. That's just my opinion.
Yeah, I don't think I would have ranked like that, but
All right. Do we what are we gonna do? We're gonna question game or Y factor? You make a call.
What are we at? What are your questions?
All right, we'll do a couple questions. I only had a few this time because we had so many good audience ones. While you were gone, it was announced that Travis and Jason are now co-owners in Garage Beer.
So fitting.
Yeah, seems totally on brand. So my question for you, what would you like to see them invest in together next? Not separately, because they both kind of do their own things, more Travis and Jason, but together.
Yeah, because at first I was thinking separate, and I thought it would be fantastic if Jason invested in a soap company.
That would be really funny. Or a flip-flop company. That would be
Yes.
nice.
So I was trying to think of like what's something I would love to see them own an NFL team. I know that that's not a possibility while Travis is still playing and Jason's an analyst. I think they would be fantastic owners. An owner that was a player that knows the locker room, I think could drastically change the trajectory of a team that's not performing well. So I would love to see that. But I also thought it would be really interesting to see them take ownership in some kind of a production company that specializes in documentaries of like sports players.
Oh, yeah, that's a good one. I like that.
What are you going with?
So a little sort of kind of close to the same vein. I said that I would love to see the two of them become owners in a female sport franchise. So because I think like with Kylie, I think maybe not a field hockey team. I don't know if those are professional. But a lot of big names have been buying into the soccer teams and some of the basketball teams. But I just think it'd be really cool if they took a real financial investment in a women's sport, whether it's soccer, basketball, field hockey, if it's a thing. I don't know.
It would be fun to see them do it in basketball.
Yeah, I just think it would be really cool, especially like with Jason and Kylie's daughters.
Right.
I don't know. I think that would be really cool.
Yeah.
But kind of in the same vein, recently Jason said that he would give up broadcasting in a heartbeat to own the Eagles, because there's some talk that perhaps they may be up for purchase. Travis said he'd rather be on TV. No surprise. No surprise. Which would you rather see each of them do?
I would truly prefer them own a team. I think they could make much more of a difference there. And then we still get them on new heights. So I'm still getting you, I'm not losing that.
Of course, you have to change the rules of the game, but okay.
I don't know. And my tune might change after I see Jason be an analyst this season and kind of see how that vibe works. He has such a good dynamic with Travis on their podcast that I'm interested to see how he is with other analysts in an actual game, like live play-by-play. So, yeah. But for now, I think I'm going to stick with owning a team.
I went with that. I've separated them. I wanted Trav on TV, and I wanted Jason owning a team.
Yeah.
But I mean, I'm happy either way as long as I get them. As long as the brothers are always a part of my life, we're good. I'm happy.
Yeah.
Last one, there's, I don't really know what is happening in Texas. I don't know if it's the heat down there that's getting to y'all. There's a lot going on. Came out today and last night with the A&M baseball coach, and I can't even get into that because that just makes me angry.
Yeah. As a Texan, I can't. The Longhorns, very few of us like them.
No, I mean, it is just not a good thing. But Colt McCoy, that used to play for the Longhorns back in his heyday, was asked in an interview, what's the story with Arch Manning? Like, Arch Manning was allegedly the next coming to Jesus, basically. He picked A&M. He could have gone anywhere in the world. He picked A&M. He's been a backup, what appears now going into a second season behind Quinn Ewers. I also saw that the number one quarterback recruit out there for this next season has committed to Texas too. I'm like, do you people want to play? Like, what are we doing? So I don't know. But anyway, they asked him, like, do you think Arch Manning should transfer? There was a lot of rumors that he might. And then, he gave kind of the politically correct answer. Oh, it's great that he's, learning from Sark and take advantage of this time, blah, blah, blah. So what are your thoughts? Should Arch stay or should he go?
Well, first off, I don't think that because your last name is Manning that you're the next coming. Like, I don't know that he's proven enough to be like, yeah, you're just as good as the rest of them. Right. You and I are big on loyalty. I want to see him stay there just for loyalty's sake. I don't give two rips about, UT. But I do think that it's wise when you're some of these young players coming out of high school to learn, to see how is it at this next level? Because eventually, if you want to go to the NFL, then you've got to, again, learn how is it at that level. So I think that it is wise to go somewhere and to learn and to really ingrain yourself in a culture and in a team instead of just bouncing from place to place. That's not going to teach you what I think that you need to learn to be successful somewhere else. So I'm glad that he's staying. I think that that's a good move for him. I would like to see him get a little bit more play time just so we can kind of see what his skill set is. But again, I don't really care too much about Longhorns. So
yeah, I don't care anything at all about Texas Longhorns. But yeah, I'm the same way. I think that he should stay. To me, that feels like a very Manning family decision to stay.
Yeah.
They don't strike me as the jump in the transfer portal, all the kind of, it just doesn't seem like their vibe at all, even though that wasn't a thing when they all played. I go back to the beginning of the Arch Manning story. I was shocked he went to Texas. I mean, I could see the vibe of him like wanting to kind of, do his own thing, do something different than Peyton and Eli and Archie. But the Texas thing, I'll be honest, that really surprised me. But this is what I'm wondering. Steve Sarkisian cares about winning, right? This dude is like, he will sell a soul to win a game.
Yeah.
And he's still choosing to start Quinn over Arch. So that tells me Arch may not be what we all think and have heard.
True.
Now, Quinn is a decent quarterback. I'm not denying that. He doesn't stay healthy. But he's also somebody that couldn't cut it at Ohio State.
Right.
So, and you still aren't starting Arch Manning when you know that would really.
There has to be something behind the scenes.
Something doesn't add up there. So I think it's good that he's staying because, again, loyalty. And I would assume then that he's going to inherit the job when Quinn graduates at the end of the season.
Right.
But yeah, I'm just interested to see what happens in the Arch Manning career in general.
Yeah. Well, and again, like I said, until we see him play, there's no way for us to be like, yeah, I think he could cut it in the NFL or who really knows. So
you want to do some Y factoring?
Do some Y factors.
All right. We'll end on a good note. So let's talk about what you're not liking.
So not liking is going to deal with travel.
Okay.
This is a really long flight. I think that it should be a rule that if you've never flown before, never been in an airport, never had to get to a gate and get on a plane, you should not be allowed to travel by yourself. A friend should come with you that's experienced, or B, there should be an employee that just sticks with you.
Okay.
We have to learn
how to
get through security quickly.
Yeah.
You can't get up to the gate person and then you're like, oh, I have to take a hoodie off. Oh, my shoes have to come off. Oh, this has to go in its own bin. Like,
wait, I needed a ticket? Oh my God.
This is not the 99 questions game. We cannot be doing this here, especially when TSA is yelling at all of us because you're going slow. I can't. It's too much. At 3:30 in the morning, it's too much for me to be yelled at. I can't do it.
That is. Yeah.
That's my note. Also, we should limit one drink on airplanes. There were some people that got a little at midnight when we were on a flight because 3 different time zones. Time no longer makes sense.
Yeah. I would like text Becca and be like, I don't even know what time it is. I'm just sending the message. I don't know.
Whatever. The times I would text you, I'd be like, it's 3 a.m. here. But in my brain, it's 8 a.m. because I was on text this time. So, yeah. Just a couple of those no's of travel.
I like those. Mine is a no of social media.
Oh, okay.
I am not here for people who are no one and they want to become someone. And so they're going to create false storylines or hint at false storylines to get clicks and views and followers.
Hate it so much.
Don't rock the boat for other people in your quest to be something. Like,
that's not how we do it.
I'm not going to call you out, whoever you are, because again, you are no one. So stop. Yeah. Like,
that's good.
Yeah. All right. What is your like?
So my like, and we'll have to do another episode on this. Olympic trials have started.
Whoop.
You've watched some?
Oh, yeah.
I am here for it. It's just getting to watch the best of the best compete, to be the best, to go represent the USA. It's so good. I will always cry when the mamas are in the stands and the daddies are in the stands and they get to watch their baby live out their dream. I lose it every time.
Yep.
So it has been so fun. We've watched diving, swimming, track and field, watched a little break dancing. That was weird.
Apparently that's not a hit. So, okay.
It had been great. So then this weekend is the gymnastics trials.
Oh my
I'm
gosh.
super pumped about that. So I'm absolutely loving just sports back on the TV. We're here for it.
Yeah, we're going to figure out doing something on the Olympics. That was actually the tweet I got at the beginning of this episode that made me not happy. They just announced the U.S. women's national team for the Olympics and they left Alex Morgan off.
Interesting.
I figured they might. She's getting older.
Yes.
And she plays forward, and a lot of the big, new, young names are forwards, but
yeah.
I'm not happy. Not happy.
Yeah.
Okay, so I stumbled across a YouTube podcast, kind of like we do ours, with U.S. women's national former soccer players, Tobin Heath and Kristen Press, who are married. They have a show called The Recap Show, which I didn't know. Apparently they used to have this show, and Tobin and Kristen both in their soccer careers have had really devastating knee injuries. Kristen's has been like the most mind-blowing thing. What should have been a very simple surgery, now almost 4 years ago, she's had to have 4 surgeries. And she's trying to make a comeback right now. But anyway, they had Abby Wambach and Glennon Doyle on the other day. And I love some Abby Wambach. Like she is, and I love Glennon too, but I really love Abby Wambach.
Yeah.
I really love interviews when they do them together. And so this was a fantastic interview, but they had this conversation. So I want to shout out their show. I really love it. I've only seen that one episode, but they had a really cool conversation about what it's like to be that person on the field, on the pitch. But they were also talking about Taylor because they're all Taylor Swift people. So they were talking about, being on that moment on, like on that catwalk when she comes down and she's singing, she's being in that live moment.
Yeah.
And I think it really summarized for me too why I fell in love with live music last year with the Eras Tour, which I didn't know I loved. But they put a lot of really fancy words to this, especially Glennon.
She's
really blow us away. But essentially what I wrote down was they had this conversation on, in that moment, you're like a vessel holding the energy of that moment. And that it is like the only time that everyone is all in on one thing in that moment, and how rare that is today, because we never have those moments anymore. We're all 100 million places. And I would say even in the shows, people are still talking or whatever, but they were using it from the perspective of when they're on the pitch playing soccer. And Abby's like one of the scoring leaders of all time. So like she's got the ball, and Kristen Press was saying, like, as a player, she said, when you are one of the better players, you can feel the energy in the stadium change when you get the ball. And Abby was like, oh my gosh, I never thought about that. She was like, but you're right. She was like, in that moment, you're playing the game, you're watching a million different pieces. And she was like, but when I would get the ball, it really was like I went into this tunnel, and like, though there were all of these noises and all these other people, all of that energy from all those people and everyone on the field playing was right on her. Which, first of all, you got to be a hell of a person to be able to handle, and to be as phenomenal as she was, or Taylor is with music. But I thought that was a really cool reminder that, like, in those moments, like the live sporting events or live music, like, it really is some of the only times that we get where we're all in on something. Like when you watch the Eras Tour on the grainy live stream, sure, people are videoing and you hear people talking, but there's so many times on that when you watch the live stream that you can't even hear Taylor.
Yeah.
Because everyone is singing so loud. And like, how rare is it that we are all in on one moment like
That's
that?
True.
It was really cool. So I'm going to check out more of their show, but I really liked it. They have a good vibe. They're very, very different people. So it's just a cool vibe.
Awesome.
But that's it. That's all I got.
You guys, we covered a lot.
We didn't think we were going to get through all that. But look at us. We're professionals now.
at us. Look at us go.
So we're back next week. We will have been in Ireland. Not we. I mean, we wish, but
Right.
Taylor will have been in Ireland. We'll have Olympic news. I'm sure we'll have more sports news. God only knows what'll happen. Let's be honest.
Who knows?
But thanks for tuning in. Drop us your questions. Again, just DM
Follow
us.
us.
However, give us a follow. Do all the things. Make us famous. It's great.
Send us to Radio Row.
Yes. Exactly. All right. Thanks for listening.
Bye, guys.